Street Department, we do need to have a closed meeting to discuss personnel, short one. And that's all we got with the Street Department, unless y'all have any questions. Stormwater, I've been in contact with the pipelining company, and they have brought some of their equipment in this week. They brought it in yesterday. I went down, opened up, and let them park it. Hopefully, they're going to be in here first next week to start lining the WPA line that runs under the houses that we've been worried about. So hopefully we'll have that done here before too much longer. They said weather is not a problem as long as it's not raining. Cold is not a problem. One of the things that we're working on right now is Providence and Jackson. We're putting some drainage out there so that can be overlaid here this year. We've started laying it out today, and they're actually going to build a box tomorrow and try to get it in, have one of them done by tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be able to get that done by the time we get ready to do the overlay. We'll have enough of it done to overlay. We may not have it all the way through the park, but we'll have that done anyway. That's all we've got. That's all the questions. All right.
We still need to consider, and Finance Committee needs to look at that. We still need to consider moving somebody to full-time for that, for the stormwater, because it is definitely a full-time position. It's eating us up with that. There's just so much to do with checking all the, every single area of water, basically, we have to be checked. We have to check it out. So I want everybody to still think about that and have a talk with the Finance Committee and see what we can do.
We discussed that. We just discussed that last week, and we're putting that as an item that has to be put in next year's budget, but we believe it'll have to wait till then.
Good.
Good. Industrial?
Nothing for the public at this time.
Senior citizens, Gary's still driving. If you've got anything there. Hospital.
We have the opportunity to file for our own certificate of need to get the ball rolling with this other company that we're talking to. And in order to do that, we would need to form a not-for-profit organization, and we need to have some seed money of about $500,000. And that way, though, we would have our own, that CON would be ours and nobody else's. And we can do that in spite of the fact that this other company owns their certificate of need. That would have nothing to do with this. And the problem, of course, becomes I don't have an extra $500,000 in my pocket. I don't think a lot of us do, but that's something that we need to get with the hospital committee and have a discussion on. It is really, this company wants to get this stuff going and get on in here and get it done. And so I'd like to have a hospital committee meeting a week from tonight. And let's say 6 o'clock in this room right here. So Brenda, would you make sure everybody on that committee and anybody else who wants to attend is welcome to attend. We need some ideas on this, and we're close, but no cigar right now.
Okay. Under unfinished business, maintenance of fire hydrants. I don't know if the city council ever brought it up as a motion to have Terry drop an ordinance for that. It's been brought up by CLGW that we need to. So that way the fire hydrants are under CLGW's maintenance.
Excuse me, could you speak up? I'm hard of hearing, I'm old.
Okay, sorry about that.
Thank you.
That we need a ordinance that to the hydrants that are attached to the CLGW's water lines are to be maintained by CLGW. So it's been brought up that we've needed one, there's not one, so.
So we need a motion for this ordinance?
Or do you, before you write it up then?
Yeah, put it-
Yeah, just tell me you need one, that's me.
And then we vote on it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I ask one other thing. What, I'm in Ward 1, where it has been mentioned about our lack of water in our area. 2 houses burned to the ground, basically because not enough water. I mean, they might have gone unusable anyway. But I'm concerned about what the time frame is when you're talking about hiring somebody over. You know, it's really ambiguous to me of where we are as a community of taking care of this. I mean, I look out now at my hydrant across the street, not having a clue if it's any, you know, could take the pressure or hate the, you know, fly pressure. And I'm not getting out of it what I consider that, not only because of me, on my neighbors and what's happened in that area. What are we looking at to take care of the problem? And what's the time span? Are we, you know, grants, you hiring people or what? I mean, I just, like I say, it's that, and I will leave it with you. But I'd kind of like to know where we're headed in order to where we, you know, go to bed at night knowing, hope to God we don't get a fire, but at least they don't hook up to a hydrant and go.
I do know they've got a map that shows all the usable hydrants, and their pressures. And so, but it's just, from CLGW, they requested that, you know, it's, what's been brought up here before was an ordinance from 1928 or 29, somewhere through that range, 1920s. The city, you know, this council, we don't pump water, we don't move water, we don't have water lines, so, and the hydrants are attached to those water lines. So they've asked for, you know, to put down who is in charge of taking care of the hydrants. They've asked for an ordinance. So.
Motion.
So we have an ordinance for, motion for a CLGW to maintain the hydrants. Do we have a second?
Second.
Got any other discussion on it? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, would it be a good time to clarify that it's not necessarily the hydrants, but it's the water lines that can't provide the volume over in Ward 1, which is also where I live? And I know there was a discussion at one time of using some of the COVID money to replace those lines, and we know what it would cost, and I think CLGW is willing to put forward some of the money to make that happen. Is that still under discussion, or is it going to be in front of the Finance Committee?
I think last week, Finance Committee did bring it up, but as it is right now, the city's not able to say what we can do with it. Finance Committee is still looking at that aspect, but it's, Steve brought it up that, you know, he would, you know, they would continue looking at it. But it's not a promise right now for, what I can say right now is, the answer today is no, maybe. It's not can't do a yes or anything, but right now it's Steve still, and the Finance Committee is still looking at everything, so, the city's in a, pretty tough financial aspect, so, that's where we're at.
Is it appropriate for, people like him and me who live in Ward 1 and are concerned about it to go to the next Finance Committee and kind of share our views?
Sure.
Is his date set for that next meeting?
That one's not right now.
Okay.
There's one thing about that is, once these tax issues go through and we see the results of those will also help. So we're going, the marijuana tax would be a big help to the city. It's gonna go anywhere. It's gonna go to the state right now if we don't pass it, so that's kind of if people understand it, a no-brainer. And then renewing the capital improvement tax also. And then what we find out about the public safety, all those things will have an impact on the ARPA money and all that. So,
And those will all be on the looks like the August ballot.
we might a better concept.
So there'll be a lot more information that comes out about them, to explain them, you know, to the best of our abilities, hopefully that everybody that shows up will know that, you know, the city needs this, and it will help improve the city. So we got that. New business, ordinance for zoning of comprehensive military facilities.
You have your screen.
I have those. Now, I have two different ones. And the reason is, I prepared one of them which has the number of feet that a facility can be to a school. One of them is 1,000 feet, and one of them is 0 feet. The one 0 feet was the one originally prepared, and it was put at 0 feet because that's what the medical dispensary ordinance requires. So I just made the recreational dispensary, which is going to be the same building and just about everywhere, at 0. But then the planning and zoning, when it went to the planning and zoning, they approved a recommended passage of the ordinance only with 1,000 feet buffer. So,
Is our standard about 200 feet? Is that